What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about 5 drills and tips you guys can do to improve your arm strength as a quarterback. Let's get started. All right, guys, so for the first drill, you're going to need a medicine ball. Now, this one's about 10 pounds. If you have a lighter medicine ball, that works too, but something obviously heavier than a football, okay? So what this is going to serve to do is serve as some kind of resistance for your hip drive and for your leg drive, something a little bit heavier than just throwing a football, right? But we want to keep the same mechanics. So all you're going to do is you're going to hold this thing here on your right pec, nice relaxed elbows, and now all we're going to be doing is just the same mechanics. You're going to push off of this back leg. You're not going to use this front leg to step open. A lot of people will do this and they'll step here, right? They're not getting any drive from their hips. Their hips are opening up and they're going this way. You're essentially just pushing it with your upper half. You want to be here. You want to drive, get that front foot down. You want to let your hips shoot through while we keep this front leg just slightly turned to the inside of the target. And then you're going to just rotate nice and easy all the way through with your upper half. Okay, so this is how it should look. You should be here, nice and relaxed. And we just throw this thing and rotate through. Okay, so now what that's for is to work on you being able to separate your upper half from your lower half and getting your hips and your core to drive a little bit more explosively, right? Because you're holding this medicine ball here, you're not going to just open up your shoulders and throw. You're going to close your shoulders, get your hips to the target, and let everything swing through. Okay, so what I would recommend doing, this is what I do with my quarterbacks. We probably go about 3 to 4 sets of about 8 to 10 reps, depending on the size of the medicine ball. With that 10-pound one, we go about 10 reps, and then if it's a younger QB, we do about 8 reps. All right, guys, so this next drill, again, does not even require a football, and we talked about this a little bit in the previous video. Arm strength comes from being able to separate your upper half from your lower half, right? Torque. You got to be able to develop your leg strength, your core strength, but torque is the mechanical aspect of throwing this thing with a little bit more velocity, a little bit more power, a little bit more distance, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to have a towel here, and you're going to put your middle finger over the top of the towel, and you're going to take your front hand. If you're a lefty, it'd be your right hand, and you're going to put your hand here, and you're going to hold onto the towel just like this. Now, you're going to stand with your feet in cement just like how you would normally throw. But what I see a lot of quarterbacks do is when they're warming up and they go feet in cement, they just take the ball back and throw, right? They're not rotating their upper half. They're not separating their upper half from their lower half. So this is working on this. So you're going to be here holding on this towel. All you're going to do is you're going to turn, right? And you're going to try to keep your hips forward, and you're going to turn with this front shoulder, holding onto this towel to make sure that you don't separate too early and open up, losing torque. So you're going to hold onto this towel, and you're going to let go when you start to pull this towel back and you get to about here. So this is going to probably feel, if you struggle with opening up, it's probably going to feel like you have a nice stretch right here, and it might give you a little bit of tension, but we're just trying to get a looser trunk, being able to separate my upper half from my lower half. So all you're going to do is you're going to be here and just throw, right? I'll back up a little bit, really emphasize the wrist flick here. So we're here and just rotate through. You want to do about maybe 20 reps, 3 sets of about 20 reps before you throw, just to work on your upper half, getting nice and loose, being able to separate your upper half from your lower half so you can produce more torque. All right, guys, so this next drill is to work on the sequence of the throw. Now, the sequence of the throw is necessarily when you want to get your hips through first, before your shoulders, before the ball, and working on the correct timing of the throw, right? So essentially what that is when you're here, you want your hips to come through, then your shoulders, then the football, right? Or it should be legs, hips, then shoulders, then football, right? So now the thing about that is this happens, a lot of people struggle with this for a number of different reasons. This is the key to producing torque, to having a nice strong arm to throw with a lot of velocity and have that whip to your throw. So what a lot of people do it is because they might be too narrow and they have a long stride. Even if they do have their shoulders go back, they have a nice clean backstroke, their front foot doesn't get in the ground until they're at 90, until they're here. So then their shoulders come through and their back leg locks out. Or what a lot of people do is they might have a quick stride, but they'll just open straight to 90, and then they're throwing with their shoulders first and they leave everything behind them, right? We want to make sure that I'm pushing, I get my hips through as my shoulders go back, and my hip brings that ball through when I have my nice clean backstroke. And the backstroke doesn't have to be the same for everybody. So this is a drill to work that. It's called a QB walk, and it's off of a hitch. So what we're going to do is you're going to be here. I'll show you guys so you can see me. It's going to be off of a hitch. You want to go for about 10 yards. So it's a hitch here, hitch here, hitch here. Right now, everybody's going to be probably thinking, oh, that's that same drill that Dak Prescott was doing, and you're right, that is the same drill that he's doing, and that's exactly what he's trying to work on there. That sequence, that timing of your hips, being able to get your hips to come through first before your shoulders, so you have that nice torque on that football and you have a whip with that arm. Right now, a lot of people think, oh, I just got to do my back hip, I just bring my back hip through. No, you want to also rotate your front hip through and really try to rotate and get your belly button to the target, because that's what will get this ball through, and that's what will help you rotate through. You won't rely on your shoulders to swing you down, and you have the correct sequence of this throw. So for that drill, you want to work about maybe 4 sets of 10 yards. All right, guys, so now we're gonna be talking about how to get more power on the ball when you throw with rhythm. But first, guys, I wanna talk to you about an opportunity that I have on my website where we break down NFL defenses. If you're a quarterback and you wanna get better at reading coverages, understanding what the defense is doing so you can structure your drop, your play, however you play your game to beat that defense, check out that link in the description that says how to read defenses. We break down 100+ NFL defenses. So if you're seeing a high school defense, youth defense, it's 10 times easier. I break it down simple so you guys can understand it. Plus, we give 4 new breakdowns every single week, so over probably 10 hours of content that you guys can watch. Hope to get you guys on that soon. Check out that link in the description. So now we're going to talk about throwing off of a rhythm drop, right? So we come here, and now this is something like when you got to rip a bang 8 or you got to throw a speed out to maybe your backside. The most important thing is when you hit the top of your drop, one, you're not too narrow, so you have that long stride and then an improper sequence, and we're not too wide so I can't push and generate force. You got to find that happy medium to when you get to your third step in this drop. So let's say I'm throwing like a bang 8 to my left here, right? It was a hard post for you guys that don't know. So we go 1, 2, 3, and when I hit my third step, you see how my foot's just slightly outside of my shoulders and I'm lighter on my front leg. Now the reason why I say you want to be light on the front leg is because we're too heavy, I have too much weight on the front leg and then I can't push to generate force, right? You want to be about 60-40, but you want your front foot to be light so you could really push and have your feet somewhat just outside of your shoulders, because if I'm too wide, I'll lock out and I don't have any power, and if I'm too narrow, I have a long stride and it's the same result. We got to make sure we find that good base, feet just outside your shoulders, slight bend in your knees, sit your butt down so we can really drive this throw. That's how you get more power off of a rhythm timing drop. All right, guys, so lastly, I want to talk about how to get more power with a hitch in your drop. So let's say we're taking a 3-step in hitch, throwing a deep dig, or maybe even a deep post, right? You want to make sure that when you hitch, right, I'll show you this way so you can see it. When you hitch, I don't get here. Same thing on a rhythm drop. You don't want to be too wide with your hitch. You don't want to get here and not go anywhere. And you don't want to get here and then get really narrow and have this long stride, which will give an improper sequence, right? You want to make sure that you have a nice strong base, and when you hitch, you want to hitch both feet at the same time. I'm here. Both feet at the same time, and you don't want to hitch up. A lot of people say take a 3-step drop, hitch up, right? You want to hitch towards that throw without sacrificing your depth, right? You don't want to hitch right into your offensive line, but you don't want to be here and then pop my legs up and then have no power, because we talked about this earlier in the video. Your power comes from your leg drive, your hip drive, okay? That's why you want to improve your leg strength and your core strength to be able to get a little bit more arm strength on this thing as well. So when you do throw, you take that hitch, you want to hitch here. You want to hitch out, right? You want to hitch out, you want to hitch towards the target so you could drive this thing here. And if you're throwing a deep ball, same thing. You still want to hitch. All you're changing your shoulder arc, your follow through to get this thing to go up and over. That's how you throw with more power off of a drop with a hitch. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. Again, if you want to get better reading coverages, improving your football IQ as a quarterback, check out that link in the description. And please leave any questions you guys have in the comments. I'll make sure to get back to you. I'll see you guys next time.